Good morning students. I am Ananya Swaraj and in this video I am going to discuss industry and labor. Let's start. Under industry and labor, we will discuss following subtopics. First, industry, definition, industrial revolution, origin and development of industry in India, classification of industries, importance of industry. Second topic, labor, meaning of labor, labor process theory, labor laws in India, labor union, social problems related to labor in India, International Labour Organization, ILO. Now let's start. Industry and labor introduction. In the era of globalization, industrial institutions greatly affected by the social structure and relationships of society. Today, industry and labor are important parts of economy of any society. Indian government is regulating industrial policies, industrial laws, manufacturing, financing and issues related to labor. Industry and industrial society. Definition. Industry. Definition. Industry is the work and processes involved in collecting raw materials and making them into products in factories. Now, what is industrial society? An industrial society is a society driven by the use of technology to enable mass production, supporting a large population with a high capacity for division of labor. Now, here we discuss industrial revolution. The industrial revolution took place from the 18th to 19th centuries in Europe. The industrial revolution promoted the development and popularization of machinized means of production such as replacement for hand production. Origin and development of industry in India. Industrial revolution in India started during British rule. Modernization of India's textile industry took place during the early 19th century. The first manufacturing industry was set up in India during the British rule. The first textile mill in the country was established at Fort Gloucester near Calcutta in 1818. In 1854, the first cotton textile mill was established in Bombay. Immediately after, the first railway line was constructed between Bombay and Thane. The first jute mill was set up in Calcutta in 1855. Now, the next topic is importance of industry in Indian society. A country with strong industrial sector have shown more economic growth, had improved national income and promoted living standard of people. Here is a rise in income and so rate of savings, rate of investment and rate of spending also rises automatically. Industrialization has played an important role in improving the economic condition of various countries. Industrialization causes the income of people to rise and improves their standard of living. This is an important event for the rapid growth of a country. Now, classification of industries in India. Industries in India can be classified on the following basis. First, on the basis of strength of labor. Second, on the basis of raw material and finished goods. Third, on the basis of ownership. Fourth, on the basis of source of raw material. Fifth, miscellaneous categories. Now, start. Classification of industries on the basis of strength of labor. First, large scale industry. Industries which employ a large number of laborers in each unit are called large scale industries, for example, cotton or jute textile industries. Second, medium scale industries. The industries which employ neither very large nor very small number of laborers are put in the category of medium scale industries, for example, radio and television industries. Number 3, small scale industries. Industries which are owned and run by individuals and which employ a small number of laborers are called small scale industries. Now, classification of industries on the basis of raw material and finished goods. Number 1, heavy industries. Industries which use heavy and bulky raw materials and produce products of the same category are called heavy industries. For example, iron and steel industry presents a good example of heavy industries. Second, light industries. The light industries use light raw materials and produce light finished products. For example, electric fans, sewing machines are light industries. Now, classification of industries on the basis of ownership. First, private sector industries. Industries owned by individuals or firms. Second, public sector industries. Industries owned by the state and its agencies. Number 3, joint sector industries. Industries owned jointly by the private firms and the state or its agencies. Number 4, cooperative sector industries. Industries owned and run cooperatively by the group of people who are generally producers of raw materials of the given industry, such as a sugar mill owned and run by farmers, are also called cooperative sector industries. Now, classification of industries on the basis of source of raw material. First, agro-based industries. Agro-based industries are those industries which obtain raw material from agriculture. Cotton textile, jute textile, sugar and vegetable oil are representative industries of agro-based group of industries. Second, mineral-based industries. The industries that receive raw materials primarily from minerals such as iron and steel, aluminium and cement industries fall in this category. Number 3, pastoral-based industries. These industries depend upon animals for their raw material. Hides, skins, bones, horns, shoes, dairy, etc. are some of the pastoral-based industries. Number 4, forest-based industries. Paper, cardboard, lac, rayon, resin, tinning of leather, leaf utensils, basket industries are included in this type of industries. Now, classification of industries, miscellaneous category. Now, first in this category, basic industries. Industries on which depend many other industries for their manufacturing processes are called basic industries. For example, iron and steel industry. For example, utensils made up of iron and steel depends on iron and steel industry. So, iron and steel industry is called basic industries. Number 2, capital intensive industry. Industries requiring huge investments are called capital intensive industries. For example, iron and steel, cement and aluminium industries. Number 3, labor intensive industries. Industries which require huge labor force for running them are called labor intensive industries. In these industries, labor is more important than capital. For example, shoemaking and beedi manufacturing industries. Classification of industries. Here we miscellaneous. In this miscellaneous category, number 4 is village industry. Village industries are located in villages and primarily cater to the needs of the rural people. For example, oil extraction, grain grinding, and agricultural implements. Number 5, cottage industries. Industries which artisans set up in their own houses, work with wood, cane, brass, stone, etc. are called cottage industries. For example, handloom, khadi, and leather industry. Number 6, consumer good industries. Consumer industries convert raw materials or primary products into commodities directly used by the people. For example, textiles, bakeries, sugar, etc. Now labor. Meaning of labor. Workers sell their labor to the capitalist for a certain amount of money. In 2011, India had about 487 million workers compared to China's 355 million and United States 154 million. Labor in India refers to employment in the economy of India. In 2012, there were around 487 million workers in India, the second largest after China. Of these, over 94% work in incorporated and unorganized industry. Labor process theory. Harry Braverman wrote Labor and Monopoly Capital, the degradation of work in the 12th century. His book analyzes capitalist productive relations. Braverman argued that capitalist owners and managers were instantly driven to de-skill the labor force to lower production cost and ensure high productivity. De-skilled labor is cheap and above all easy to control due to the workers' lack of direct engagement in the production process. In turn, work becomes intellectually or emotionally unfulfilling. The lack of capitalist reliance on human skill reduces the need of employers to reward worker in anything but a minimum economic way. Labor laws in India. Indian labor law refers to laws regulating labor in India. Traditionally, Indian government at federal and state level have sought to ensure a high degree of protection for workers. Labor laws in India. Laws related to equality before the law and discrimination law. Article 14 states everyone should be equal before the law. Article 15 specifically says the state should not discriminate against citizens, and Article 16 extends a right of equality of opportunity for employment or appointment under the state. Article 23 prohibits all trafficking and forced labor, while Article 24 prohibits child labor under 14 years old in a factory, mine, or any other hazardous employment. For example, Caste Disability Removal Act 1850. Now, law related to gender discrimination. Article 39D of the Constitution provides that men and women should receive equal pay for equal work. In the Equal Remuneration Act 1976 implemented this principle in legislation. Now, second, sexual harassment of women at workplace, prevention, prohibition, and Redressal Act 2013 that seeks to protect and provides a mechanism for women to report incidents of sexual harassment at their place of work. Now third, laws related to migrant workers. For example, Interstate Migrant Workmen Act 1979. Now fourth, laws related to vulnerable groups. For example, Bonded Labor System Abolition Act 1976 abolishes bonded labor, but estimates suggest that between 2 million and 5 million workers still remain in debt bonded in India. Labor laws in India. Laws related to workers' health and safety. The Workmen's Compensation Act 1923 requires that compensation is paid if workers are injured in the course of employment for injuries or benefits to dependents. The rates are low. Now next, laws related to wage regulation. The Payment of Wages Act 1936 requires that employees receive wages on time and without any unauthorized deductions. Section 6 requires that people are paid in money rather than in kind. The law also provides the tax withholdings the employer must deduct and pay to the central or state government before distributing the wages. Now next, laws related to pensions in India and social insurance. The Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1952 created the Employees Provident Fund Organization of India. This functions as a pension fund for old age security for the organized workforce sector. For those workers, it creates provident fund to which employees and employers contribute equally, and the minimum contributions are 10 to 12% of wages. On retirement, employees may draw their pensions. Now, laws related to child workers in India. Child labor in India is prohibited by the Constitution. Article 24 in factories, mines and hazardous employment, and that under Article 21 the state should provide free and compulsory education up to a child is aged 14. However, in practice the laws are absolutely not enforced. Now next topic is labor union. A labor union is an organization of workers who have banded together to achieve common goals in key areas such as wages, hours, and other working conditions. The trade union, through its leadership, bargains with the employer on behalf of union members and negotiates labor contracts with employers. Following are some of the national level CTUOs as recognized by the Ministry of Labour, Government of India. The list is for the reference year 2002, whose verification was completed in 2008. The political affiliation of the Union Federation is mentioned in bracket. First example, All India Central Council of Trade Unions. Second, All India Trade Union Congress. Third, All India United Trade Union Center. Next, Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh. Now, social problems related to labor in India. First, slavery. It is the practice of utilizing forced labor to produce goods and services has occurred since antiquity throughout the world as a means of low cost production. Now, international law has declared slavery illegal. Number 2, bonded labor. It is a person's pledge of labor or services as a security for the repayment for a debt or other obligation where there is no hope of actually repaying the debt. The services required to repay the debt may be under undefined and the services duration may be undefined. Debt bondage can be passed on from one generation to other generation. Currently, debt bondage is the most common method of enslavement, with an estimated 8.1 million people bonded to labor illegally, as cited by the International Labour Organization in 2005. This is very serious issue. Debt bondage has been described by the United Nations as a form of modern day slavery, and the Supplementary Convention on the Abolishment of Slavery seeks to abolish the practice. Third problem, child labor. It refers to the employment of children in any work that deprives children of their childhood, interference with their ability to attend regular school, and that is mentally, physically, socially, or morally dangerous and harmful. This practice is considered exploitative by many international organizations. Legislation across the world prohibits child labor. Now, International Labour Organization (ILO). The International Labour Organization (ILO) is a United Nations agency dealing with labor problems, particularly international labor standards, social protection, and work opportunities for all. So this was video on industry and labor. Hope you enjoyed this. If you like this video, then please like and share this video, subscribe this channel. I'm Ananya Swaraj. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much.